Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. But before we begin, if you guys could please be sure and smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Oh, Mason, this is it. The final run-up to the last James Bond. Back to Bond, we are doing Spectre. This is the movie that's on the eve of the finale.
It
No
is.
Time to Die.
Absolutely.
So it's the last one, man. We've gone through all three.
Yep.
Let me name them off. Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre. We've loved Casino Royale.
Absolutely.
Did not as much love Quantum of Solace.
No, kind of that filler, that buffer film.
Skyfall won our heart again.
Yep.
Came back strong. And now Spectre,
Which I think you and I are going to be conflicted on.
It's a complicated film. To me, it is by far not my favorite James Bond film, but I still enjoyed it more than Quantum of Solace, only because I feel like it's saved and hindered by the bad guy, Christoph Waltz, who does an amazing job.
An Inglourious Bastard. Oh, you mean in this? Yes, in this as well. Yeah.
But does not have nearly enough screen time. It's just he has 12 minutes of screen time.
One half the time, his face is completely darkened by the shadow.
Yeah, which, I'll get into later. And then we also have Batista.
Who doesn't, I don't think, said a single word in this film.
Shit.
Oh, was that all he said?
When he gets taken off.
But you know what? The delivery?
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Still a great role for him, playing that nameless henchman, Mr. Hinks.
And again, I told you this. I had not seen Spectre, didn't know who was in it, didn't know who the bad guy was or anything. So when I saw Batista, I got fucking excited. And I knew it was Batista when he walked out, when they started with him from behind.
Who else could it be?
I see those
He's
ears, those
huge
big,
in this.
his big chest and everything. I'm like, that's Batista. He's in it.
Mr. Hinks playing the Spectre assassin, a great henchman.
Yes.
As far as Bond henchman goes, doesn't have some kind of deformity that usually sets apart henchmen. Like usually they got
being overly large.
Usually they got metal hands or gold feet or something. Yeah, they got claws or some kind of thing to set them apart. You know, throwing a hat or something. But he's just big. He does have painted thumbs.
Oh, cool.
Thumbnails. So I don't know if that's something that sets him apart.
Maybe.
But I only know that because he smashes them into someone's eyes.
He does.
To get a promotion.
But you got to do what you got to do.
Listen. I'm running an office. Mm-hmm. I got two guys up for a promotion, okay? I'm thinking these guys are equally qualified. You know, one guy's already there. He came in early, proper. The other guy comes in 15 minutes late, but all he does is smashes his thumbs into the other guy's eyes and then twists his head off his body. Well, you giving that job to?
The way I work as a boss is I got two guys there and I go, show me how bad you want it. And one turns to the other and he plucks a man's eyeballs out and, as you said, rips his head off. I go, you've got the job.
Well, one.
For two reasons. One.
Not a lot of competition at this point.
At this point, the second one seems to be disposed at the moment. So you've got it.
But I like your moxie, I like your energy. You were not punctual.
No.
And I'm looking at your resume, underqualified in every department.
Compared to the other man, but you did
Clearly,
show me.
you've been working out a lot more.
Right.
More time in the gym. I'm going to have to give you this one. Yeah, we're going to have to give you the role.
And that's how we got the job.
That is how you get the job. Yep. In a secret terrorist organization, of course, there's only one way to get the job. Yep. And it's not coming in early. It's not working 60 hours a week. It's
killing the competition.
It's killing the competition.
Literally.
Because no one has a problem when he comes into that.
No one gasps. No one is in awe. They just all stand there. Like they've seen it a million times. Like that is the rite of secession is like just...
Well, no one knew, but the only one seemed to be shocked was the guy who got thumbs in the eyes.
He was. I did hear a few screams of agony.
I don't know if that was his first day, but everyone else seemed to see it coming.
It was a rite of passage.
Yeah, but that's a good intro.
It is.
But
It's
again,
pretty metal.
what's so shitty about having that awesome intro is you don't get Dave Bautista for another 40 minutes, and it's very little of him. You know, it's a wasted role.
But you do get him in that awesome chase scene. Now Spectre, I gotta say, that was one of my favorite chase scenes. I thought it was great. The cars were really cool. They're driving up the water thing. What are those things called? Those embankments.
Yeah.
The sidewalls. Like, I love the whole chase scene. I thought it was really cool. And it was more gadgety as far as like Bond and kind of giving you a throwback when he does the car thing and the fire comes out.
Well, the car is the one
ejects
thing
himself.
that they keep the gadgets in for sure. Yeah. The Aston Martin. You got to keep the Aston Martin. You got to keep the smoke screen, the oil slick, machine guns. Mm-hmm. You got to keep all those things in there.
I loved it.
Because Aston Martin gets specifically targeted in Skyfall. Remember when they're all at the house?
In the helicopter?
And then the guy turns around and no one's even in the Aston Martin.
But it was a
blow.
statement.
Because... yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Skyfall because I will get into it forever. But he gets the new Aston Martin in this.
And it's so funny when he does finally meet up with Q and he goes, "Oh, don't worry, it was only a 3 million pound car."
Yeah, you bitch.
At the bottom of the marina or whatever.
Do you know what the acronym Spectre stands for?
No, I have no idea.
Were you going to guess?
I was going to guess, but it would probably be a really dumb guess.
Yeah, it could have been funny. But Special Executive Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just a very obvious evil corporation.
Oh, of course. You hear all these words like extortion. Yeah, I'm like, you know what?
They got to be thinking at some point maybe they're the bad guys.
Yeah, they could.
Like maybe their whole mission is like, it's not right. If you're revenge and extortion's in the name of your title, then you're probably not doing it.
Probably not on the right side of history.
Yeah, come on, guys. But yes, that's my biggest complaint is it's the villains are there, but they're not given their due justice. You got Christoph Waltz, use him, man. That's Hans.
It is.
The scary Nazi guy.
Very scary.
You got it.
In all seriousness, a brilliant actor too. He is.
Oh yeah.
He is great in everything that he's in.
Yeah. I'm always worried that when someone, because James Bond films, they don't cast you as the villain until you've already played a villain in something else, so they know that you're good. Because that's how Harvey Bardem, he played the hitman in No Country for Old Men, and
phenomenal role,
best roles ever. And then they asked him to be, the bad guy in Skyfall. Christoph Waltz, of course, was the Nazi and Inglourious Bastards. They saw that and they're like, this guy can play a good villain. They let him play in this. But I'm always worried that they're going to get typecasted as bad guys.
Villains.
But then fucking Quentin Tarantino came back and hired Christoph Waltz as the good guy in Django. So it kind of worked its way out. He's not always the bad guy.
I'll never forget watching that for the first time and I was like, oh, he's going to be a bad guy.
And again, I hate when people get typecasted because then I see them in roles and I can't see them outside of him being that bad Nazi.
There's a guy in Yellowstone, a TV show, and the first time I saw him, he's like this slick back lawyer, and I'm like, okay, he's a villain because he's played a villain in everything else. He's just his son.
That's what I know. Yeah,
I'm like, I only can see him as a villain now, so it's so weird.
So you don't. I mean, typecasted. It's 50-50.
Sure.
It's like you're getting roles. But also, you can't take any other role, and it ends up screwing you in the long run because you can't be like the cool dad or anything once you've been the Nazi.
But there's no going back.
Exactly. Yeah. But Christoph Waltz is so good that he transcends all roles. He's great. But yeah, he plays a very, very famous, probably the most famous villain in James Bond history, Ernst Blofeld, a.k.a. Dr. Evil. He's the guy who's Dr. Evil's based off. He's bald in all the movies. He's got a big scar on his face, and he is always petting a cat. That's That's
White Cat.
That's the architect of like every villain now, but it's based off of Ernst Boyfield.
And definitely when you go and watch Austin Powers, based on Dr. Evil.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's always got the cat, the cat with no hair. And
shit. And we get the cat at one point in Spectre.
We do.
But he's not bald yet, and he doesn't have the scar yet. But loves that Persian cat.
I did like that though, the scar at the end and how he got the scar with the time.
They got to give him the scar.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and the eye was, and it obviously makes him look much more menacing as well too, with the deformed face, the side, and the
that's
eyeball.
how Boyfield always looks in every James, in all the old ones, because he's been played by 4 different actors, I believe, at this point.
Oh wow.
Donald Pleasance plays him originally in the original, but yeah, he's always got that cat. Bald head, scar on his face. So you always got to.
I have a question from you, from obviously a fan of the Bond films, and now that we are on Spectre, I feel like I can ask this question on the podcast. When we do see No Time to Die, we obviously know it's going to be Daniel Craig's last film. Do you think they will continue on with the same story, or are we going to do like another reset where it's kind of new franchise?
That's a really good question. I was wondering that the other day as well. To me, it's always, because it's always a reimagining, but it's the same characters, right? It's Boyfield, it's fucking M, it's all those.
That's why I brought it up, because I'd rather just see that. I'd rather just see a reset and then go back to all that. Because I don't necessarily need to see a continuation of Daniel Craig. Like, let's say he dies and then they introduce a new Bond and then they continue on with the story. I'd rather just see another 5-movie reset.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is it in the past it always has been the continuation. Yeah. It's never been it's not the reset. So when you get a new actor, it's a new actor, but they're playing the same character in that same universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the old days, when that first happened, when they first went from Sean Connery to someone else, I think it was George Lansby, the guy who only did one, they had to do like in-movie jokes to like make sure you guys know that this is the same guy, but just played by a different guy.
Right.
So he had to be like, this would never happen to the other guy. He'd like break the fourth wall at one point.
That's strange.
Just so audience would be like, okay, same guy, different actor. So I think most likely it will be that. But it doesn't matter because you can always change any of these actors.
Yeah, that's the only problem that I have is as we have seen Daniel Craig get older, now we're going to be like, and obviously like Skyfall made a big deal of that. He was getting older. He was not passing his physical tests and all that. And then you hire a new young James Bond and don't even acknowledge that, James Bond is magically 30 years younger now.
Well, it's always been, they've never concretely said this, but it's always been the theory that the 007, it's a moniker. James Bond is a code name for that role. They always get new guys, and when you get into that, when you get hired as that 007, you change your name to James Bond.
Okay, see, that makes more sense.
So
that's something I
think at one point they will put that in the story and make it canon that is how it goes. Is that no matter what, your name can be Ted Barry.
Yeah.
But once you get the 007 moniker,
it's James Bond.
It's James Bond. That's why he's allowed to go around and be like, hey, table for James Bond.
Right.
Because everyone knows, but it's a different guy. So you can know the name James Bond, but it's always a different face.
Man, you really hope there's no one out there with stolen valor. You'd be across the wrong guy telling everyone you're James Bond and you don't have the skills to back it up.
Yeah, it's probably not the smartest thing, but you got to be badass to be going around yelling that your name is James Bond.
Very true.
But yeah, I think that's most likely. I don't know, man. It's always a weird thing when they have to hire a new James Bond. It's a huge process.
Yeah.
Like for Daniel Craig, I think they auditioned 400 people for the possibility. And the thing about the James Bond roles is they never get people that are really famous at the time. They get almost kind of up-and-comers to do the role.
Which makes sense. I like that better.
So do I.
Than having a mega superstar and I'm just throwing
That's
it out
why
there,
I
like
don't
Chris
believe
Pratt or something. I don't want to see that.
Well, yeah, I don't think they'd ever make an American.
Yeah.
Although they have auditioned before, but I don't think that's why I don't think it's going to be Henry Cavill.
No, it won't. But he does want to play a villain, and I'm all for that.
Yeah, I don't see what villain he can play unless it's someone that you think is a spy, like the exact role he played in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but
'Cause
like
a
good-looking villain where you're like, oh, this guy's charming, he's good, but he's actually a fucking psychopath.
But that's exactly what he plays in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's very true. So I guess the same thing, just in a different
that's
film.
what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know if they could do that. Yeah. I'm sure there's probably some love loss between the two franchises because Mission Impossible is just American James
version
Bond.
of James Bond, for sure. With our crazy Scientologist at the helm.
I know, so I'm sure the people, the Brokellies or Broccolis or whatever, they're probably like, don't get anyone from that fucking series that are ripping us off. We don't need them. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I know.
We probably won't get another James Bond after this until 2028.
5 years, probably, yeah. At least I'm going to say they're going to need to. They're probably thinking the same thing we're thinking is, how the fuck are we going to do this?
Yeah.
I guarantee they want Daniel Craig to die in this role. I mean, they would have him go on forever probably because he's perfect. But let's talk about Spectre though.
Yes.
We get the first. It's a good. I do enjoy, of course, the opening chase. We go.
I love the opening chase in this.
Yeah, it's a really good.
It's great. Yeah.
Day of the Dead, Mexico. Dias de Muertos.
Shout out to Maestra. Thank you for teaching me about the Day of the
that's
Dead.
the only thing I know. Sugar skulls. Remember those?
Yes. Well,
A lot of sugar skulls in this scene.
She took us to a Day of the Dead theatrical play, and it was so good. It was one of the best plays I've seen.
Jeez.
So it's
Broadway?
No, seriously, no.
Broadway?
No. But it was in Portland.
That's
Pretty
cool.
big show.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah, they start out fucking Mexico City. Awesome. Always a cool place to intro for sure. A lot of vibrant colors going on.
Oh yeah, a lot of people dressed up too.
Yeah. Craziness in the
It's
streets.
a big celebration.
Yeah, good way to disappear too if you're starting to do some terrorist shit.
And Pixar made a pretty great film called Coco based on Day of the Dead.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
But yeah, I love that intro. He has to kill people. You know, he's an assassin as well, also a spy. But because they're going to start this big. What Spectre's doing is they are, spoiler alert, they are doing terrorist acts all over the world to get world organizations to come together and be like, we got to work together.
And it's called the
Nine Eyes.
9 Eyes, yeah.
Really, Spectre's behind the whole fucking thing.
Imagine that.
Yeah, they're doing all these terrorist acts because once Nine Eyes is started, they're going to get all the intel.
I think there's a name for that. It's called the New World Order.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Well, Nine Eyes is even cooler, I think.
Nine Eyes is cooler than New World Order.
Yeah, Nine Eyes is, I don't even know. You could get a cool fucking mascot for Nine Eyes. Some kind of weird squid with 9 eyes.
It's like 180 degrees eyes.
Fuck, it's horrifying.
It is terrifying to think about. And it's off-putting because you don't have an even number of eyes. You have
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. But yeah, that's the whole reason so that's why he's in Mexico City is because they're about to blow up. Big explosion in Mexico City.
He's killing Marco Sicaria.
Yep.
Yeah, or I'm close to that.
Who's got a smoking hot wife that Bond will be fucking.
Immediately?
Just know, and what kind of guy could kill your husband and
sleep with you? That's called a narcissist. Sociopath.
Yeah. It's called charisma, Mason.
It is.
You just don't
I just don't have it. I just don't have it. And I'm just bitter. I'm jealous.
He hits on her at his funeral.
Crazy.
It's the Wedding Crashers kind of thing.
It's so crazy. And then, he's walking through, and I love that scene because she knows she's going to get executed.
Yeah.
She's walking out, and then both assassins raise up their guns, and then he goes, pew, pew.
Yep.
They both fall. And then he's like, just basically goes up to her and is like,
I saved you. Now you have to fuck me.
And they basically do.
He guilts her into it.
Yeah, he kind of does. He kind of guilts her into it. Widows don't last very long.
Out here, unless you got my help, sister. Yeah. But, so he kills her in Mexico City. And in this one, of course, because a lot of character development is he's in a much better place in this one, as he was in Skyfall.
Definitely made the rebound.
Yeah, after him dying, he kind of got over that and much cleaner, a lot better. He's got his own purpose now.
He does.
He's in Mexico without anyone telling him to be in Mexico, which is a bad thing.
Which we saw some of that, with Quantum of Solace, so it didn't end well for Bond.
And you saw it kind of work with, like, M and Bond had kind of an understanding. Like, he's going to get the job done no matter. But with this new M, Mallory, he plays by the book.
He does play by the book, but he's also got that C asshole who's like, you know what, we're shutting
working
down the
for,
00
he's
program,
working for Spectre.
Yeah. The 007, it's just old.
Mallory's being worked like a puppet.
He is. What a pushover.
Yeah.
This Mallory.
Who's Ralph Fiennes, a.k.a. Voldemort. Yeah, who's an amazing actor, but a hard ass in this, for sure. But yeah, he goes to Mexico. He ends up killing that guy. Again, a crazy scene in that helicopter scene. When, like, they're driving over the crowd, and the crowd's like, ah, and the blades,
I know.
they're going back, and
It's so close to killing a lot of people. A lot of people would have died that day.
Absolutely. It just goes to show you, again, James Bond, not the best spy.
I also have to ask this. I know I keep kind of derailing it a little bit, but now that we've watched and reviewed all 4 of these, what is your favorite? Because it is so easy for me to pick it, but what is your opening chase scene? What is your favorite one out of all 4 of them?
Wow. That's, we could ask this question with this and the endings, because the endings always end on an action sequence as well. But my favorite opening.
There's not even a question for me. I love the opening to this film.
You think so? I think the effects, because it is the newest film, the effects are the best, for sure.
No. I haven't said the film yet. It's not
I think you're going to say
for
Spectre.
an opening, no.
Okay, let me think then.
Nope.
Spectre's really good. Skyfall was good. That was the one on the rooftops. It's got to be Casino Royale.
It is. It is. Dude, it is so cool. They're running through all the construction. That guy was so acrobat, but it wasn't like the phony, like, oh, yeah, this guy, he could never do this. This was like real parkour. Like, this guy was really doing that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And James Bond wasn't as good, but he was able to still use,
it
mechanisms
was,
and stuff. I love that opening.
It's that crane. That crane scene is so
There's
fucking crazy.
Explosions and shit. I love it, dude. That opening scene.
I do like it too.
Awesome.
I think Spectre and Casino Royale have the best opening. Yeah. I like this. I like the scene in Spectre when the building collapses and he just falls on the couch. And he kind of fixes his suit, and he goes. Oh, there's that scene in Skyfall as well when they're on the train. And he gets in the crane.
Yes.
And he jumps and fixes his suit as well, which is really fucking cool. These openings, man, are worth the price of admission alone.
Literally, like,
you sit there 15 minutes and you just walk out, and you'd be like, "I'm satisfied." $9.
So if I'm, while the time that No Time to Die is in theaters, and I'm going seeing another film, I'm gonna sneak in 15 minutes early, watch the chase scene again, and then go to my movie.
Yeah, for sure. I will definitely hop it if I have that kind of.
If you have the
time.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't need to watch the trailers for another film. I'm just going into Bond real quick.
15 minutes, get your adrenaline pumped, get your heartbeat going, and then bounce out. Yeah.
And then go watch a very creepy movie called Lamb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But, can you tell I'm excited for that? Yeah. I can't fucking wait for it. I can't shut up about these 2 films. I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either. But yeah, the intro, both intros, Casino Royale, they really... And I think I saw an interview where Daniel Craig said that was his favorite stunt, was Casino Royale. Was the crane shot. Yeah. Was because he said he was deathly afraid of heights starting out. And he said he had to really run up that crane, of course. Of course, yeah. No CGI in that.
Nope. And that's what I appreciate about all these chase scenes too, is like, yes, for like maybe something they would use, but I couldn't tell. Like the explosions are real.
Are so good,
the climbing's real. The stunt work is real. Like it's not CGI, them falling or doing whatever. It's all like real shit. Yeah. It looks great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, so we get that a killer fucking intro. And then another problem with me is this one is the pacing is not as good. It's definitely not as good as Skyfall, where it's just, once it starts going, oh my, it doesn't stop, it goes up and up. This one, there's some lag in between action sequences for sure. It's a lot more backstory. You got to establish Blofeld and how he is, again, spoiler, he is James Bond's adopted brother.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah, what are the odds? Who literally spent, from all I can tell, was literally just jealous of him.
Yeah, you could say jealous.
I mean, because so jealous, so fucking jealous. He built this entire terrorist organization. Not even that, but they have sub-organizations. There's Quantum, then there's all these other... built this entire organization just to fuck with James Bond.
Well,
a lot of work.
He's been behind everything. I mean, even the whole Vesper thing.
Killed
he was
her.
Behind. Yeah, killed Vesper and made her turn on him, his first love.
He was behind fucking Silva. He was behind Le Chiffre. He was behind everyone. He was behind Green from Quantum of Solace. The conservative guy.
The dork.
The dork, yeah.
The goofball.
Probably behind that general who loved to rape.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was his.
Yeah, that might have been a subplot.
That might have been his own thing that he brought into the organization, but he was behind it all, man. Yeah. But I've literally only because he was jealous his daddy was giving him too much time. He killed his dad.
Well, we got to talk about White in this too.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Who White was, of course, he's in all of them but Skyfall. Yeah. And he progressively goes downhill.
Well, and he's dying of thallium poisoning.
Yeah, of course. He does not look good right now.
No, he looks very, very bad.
Happens to have a daughter.
They call him the Pale King, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Mr. White, Pale King. It is the Pale King.
The Pale Man, yeah.
Because that's like, it's biblical. I'm guessing he was working with thallium for some kind of poisoning.
And he looked pale. He didn't look good.
But Mr. White, of course, remember, was like pretty high up in Quantum, which was a subset of Spectre.
Every film that he's in, too, he seems to get shot.
Well, in this one, he gets worse than a bullet. I mean, he does get a bullet, but he gets cancer, which is you almost rather have a bullet.
Yeah, it's quicker.
It's nature's bullet. Yeah. But yeah, he is not doing well in this one. No, happens to have a daughter, of course, but
Madeline Swan,
which is
James Bond. I know. And then
always their psychiatrist.
It's so weird. It's so like it's kind of tacky.
It's because it is the odd couple. It's the opposite of James Bond. James Bond doesn't talk about his feelings.
Doesn't need to.
He fucks away his pain.
He's an assassin.
He drinks. He does pills.
And I love when she asks him. She's like, "How much do you drink?" Too much. That's his answer. I love it.
Yeah, you can ask him about 3 questions until he starts getting uncomfortable and be like, "Oh, all right, nah, let's not get too deep into my past here." But yeah, Mr. White has a daughter that he ends up having to save his daughter. But Mr. White does finally get a bullet that ends his life. He has to do it himself, though.
He needs Swan as well. Bond needs Swan as well because she tells him where El American is. Which is a hotel, right? Or a hotel. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, hotel. And then they find the secret room.
I know, and there's so much of this in between action sequences is my problem.
It was a pretty long film, too. I believe it was like 2.5 hours. Yeah, it was an hour, or it was 148 minutes, so... Yeah, 2 hours, 28 minutes, but it did feel like a longer Bond.
Exactly, and a lot of them are around this time,
but they don't
2 hours, but they never feel it. And this one really feels it. But again, it feels like a lot of setup too. Mm-hmm. Like even though we're getting Blofeld, which is the villain, it still feels like they're setting up for this next one, which I can't stand when films do that. Of course,
I know, and that's kind of interesting too, because Rami Malek, do you know who what villain he's playing?
He's got to be playing just a villain working for Spectre.
It would have
Blofeld
to,
is
right?
the highest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not, unless Rami Malek is the Antichrist. Maybe he is
trying to destroy it and build anew from the ashes. He will build new.
He sent a lot of demons to kill Bond, and finally he's doing it himself. He's Bond versus the devil. But yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery for now, and I don't want to know until they reveal it.
They've got the whole plot. I just read the first line. I was like, shit.
Bond's cousin, who's also pretty jealous.
Yeah, there's a lot of jealous relatives of James Bond. They go, hey, look, I wish I had that.
Of course,
charm
Bond comes into your family. He's the coolest guy of all time,
and he's
the last person you want adopted into the family.
Oh yeah, and he's getting a lot more sex than you are.
Oh my God, your dad
make any man
forgets
jealous.
He has any other kids. Right. Now he's got a new son, and he's fucking awesome. But yeah, that's another thing that always took away from this film is they're like, this Blofeld is the bad guy, and the whole reason they do the shadow thing at first is because the first 5 films Blofeld was in James Bond series, they never showed his face. They were gonna do a thing to where they never show his face and always have him behind everything, but eventually this is getting too complicated. We gotta let James Bond meet. This guy is.
I would prefer to see his face.
But that was the whole thing. Was that I believe they did that as an homage because they immediately show his face in that scene.
Well,
like
when
5
he
minutes
looks
later,
up right to Bond, or James.
Yeah.
James Bond.
James. He says, yeah, and everyone.
We were expecting you. And
Yep.
he was like, all right, I'm out of here.
Enough for me.
That
guy turns around.
Yeah.
There's a guy standing right behind him.
Punches that one guy right
Jumps
in the
out the
throat.
window immediately. It's so funny. It's so Bond.
It is Bond.
Not thinking that there may not even be a roof on the other side of that
Could
window.
not. Very well. Could I have seen a lot of windows without a roof?
Stories.
Yeah. He got lucky.
Could have easily landed on his neck and being the first paraplegic Bond that we have ever seen. But yeah.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, we get that cool chase scene though.
Yeah.
Right after that scene, because he has to fuck the widow.
Of course, to get
information.
information. Yeah.
Which is tough. She's in a tough spot. I just feel like she was a little vulnerable for that Bond. It's a little shitty for you.
Yeah, a little bit. And you could say it was the rebound for him, but you kind of took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
She just wanted a man to stay with her.
I don't know.
Night.
Of course, not even that. She was almost killed. She
That's-
literally would have probably slept with the fucking mailman had he came up.
One of the assassins that didn't want to kill her.
So I can't say she was fully consenting on that one.
Yeah, you might have taken advantage of that situation, Mr. Bond.
Yeah. But he does that to get the information. And he gets a little information, but then they need the American information, so he has to go chase. There is a cool kind of old school-esque like snowy Alps scene as well, is when he's got to kind of rescue Q from the,
Yeah, and I like that, like with the airplane and all that kind of
sequence.
stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
And we get Mr. Hinks. We get Batista in that one as well, because he's going to kill Mr. White's daughter. Yeah. So it's a cool scene. It's very James Bondy with the Alps and whatnot, and it's cool. And then we get more information. We're pretty much just dragged around.
Well, then we get like a famous, we see this a lot in films, but we get, I'm sure it was an homage to some extent to James Bond, and because I'm sure this has happened in the films, but the whole like, you have 3 minutes to leave before this place explodes. But the girls in the building.
That was the very end.
Yes.
Which is, like I've always talked about, is James Bonds, they always have an ending to where like, man, this is it. All right. And then you see 20 minutes left. You forget they always got to close with a big action sequence.
Yep.
Casino Royale has probably the best intro and outro action sequence with the building collapsing into the water in Rome. That's still my favorite action sequence probably. But in this one, we have the ending of... Well, we get another homage as well, as James Bond gets strapped to the chair with the laser beam.
Oh,
that's kind of an old school kind.
Yeah,
that's an old school way of going. A little more practical in this one. Usually, they're like strapped to a conveyor belt that has the laser beam going like straight at their crotch. That's on like a timed conveyor belt. This one makes a little more sense, but we got to talk about it because it's how Blofeld gets his. Gnarly scar.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad scar.
Gruesome.
Got the white eye. He already went blind.
Milky eye. You don't want to see the milky eye.
When you see a milky eye on someone or a fish, they're probably going to die.
Remove the eye.
Yes.
It's not working anymore.
It's not, just put a glass eye
What's your vision out of that thing, man?
Oh, minimal at best.
Gray? It's just grays? I mean, it's not good. Yeah.
No.
If anything, it's throwing off the vision of the other eye.
Of course.
But they always keep it.
Because they got to offset.
It's probably giving you a major headache.
Oh, I could imagine.
But they always keep the milky eye. If you're a villain, I guess it just adds to the character, probably.
If you're a villain, it makes sense. You want to look as menacing as possible.
But he gets a watch bomb to the face. Luckily, he's walking away from that. Because he's got fucking watch handles stuck to his face, probably. He's got numbers, strap metal.
The whole facility blew up, too. He's lucky to be alive.
I know.
In general.
He crawls out of that. Well, we find out Bond even says, Mr. Blofeld, you're a hard man to kill. He is he survives a helicopter crash as well.
He does. He's a lucky man. A very lucky man.
But yeah, that's our ending. Is he gives the ultimatum 3 minutes? It would have made a lot more sense just to blow it up right there.
That's what I was thinking. But again, you got to give him a decision.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. Whatever. But yeah, no. The helicopter scene, and then James Bond has the opportunity to kill
Yes,
Blofeld, but
he's a better man now.
He is.
That's character
The old
development.
James Bond would have killed him.
We got to think he was going through guys left and right.
And I think that's probably the better choice to make.
Yeah,
Is to just shoot
well,
him.
100% he's escaping.
Of course. Because you know they're going to lock him in a glass cell. It never works.
I've already seen the trailer. I've seen Chris Watts. He's in a glass cell for sure. And I guarantee 100%. I mean, I don't know who Rami Malek's going to play. Rami Malek will end up busting out Blofeld.
Absolutely.
That may be the intro.
Yes.
The first scene we get may be him. Yeah. So I think that is definitely where it's going to go. I don't know where Rami Malek's going to.
Is he in this film?
He's in No Time to Die.
Blofeld?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Probably small cameo. Yeah. Probably, maybe just him telling him something like a Hannibal Lecter-esque, trying to get advice from him or something. But yeah, he's going to escape. Or he's going to die or something.
Jeffrey Wright's in No Time to Die, too.
That's what I was kind of wondering about these ones. We're like, did he die? I couldn't remember.
Well, no, because he was in Quantum of Solace, and then we didn't see him in. It was the Sam Mendes films that we didn't see him in, Skyfall or Spectre.
Sam Mendes hates Jeffrey Wright.
He's not a fan of him. I'm a big fan of Jeffrey Wright. I think he's a great actor.
Although there was no CIA involvement in either of those films, so. But I'm almost positive in Skyfall they say something like, "We still have friends in the CIA." There could have been a cameo of them like calling Jeffrey Wright or something.
Yeah.
But that's awesome that he's back in this one.
I know.
I'm guessing in this one they're pulling out all stops, man.
Ana de Armas is in this too.
Man.
She'll definitely be the girl.
No, because the girl in this one.
The girl in this one too. Well, Bond.
That is my theory is, I know.
He's playing both sides. They'll probably all come together.
My theory is he will not die. He will end up running away with Mr. White's daughter at the very end. It's going to be the Batman ending. Him and Hathaway. It's not beautiful. I want him to fucking die.
All right.
You know
well,
I do.
I like a happy ending sometimes for Bond. But
I want to know this guy cannot be around anymore. Unless, wouldn't this be crazy? Is you get a new Bond, and by the last movie of this new Bond, you get Daniel Craig to come back as the older Bond. He's got to be like, we got to bring him back for some fucking reason. So then for the first time ever, 2 James Bonds. Double Bond.
Double Bond, double trouble. Yep, I like it. Let's do it.
20 years in advance, that's where I think they're going to go.
Okay.
Daniel Craig will be 80 years old, so he will be a literally older Bond at this point. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can't wait, man. No Time to Die.
I know, can't wait. We're gonna be reviewing that next week.
Crazy! It's the last one.
5th and final film.
Yeah. I can't wait though. It's gonna be fucking awesome.
I can't wait either. But that is our review here for Spectre. If you guys like what you've seen, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification. We drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause. And until next time.
Bye.